Hey, give yourselves a hand. Woohoo! I'm saying, y'all enjoy seeing yourselves on YouTube? Do y'all hear your voices and stuff? It's kind of interesting. So what I'm going to do is, because since I posted them, everybody's been looking at my name on Google. I got all these reports coming in. Who is Frank? Who is our Frank Tulak? Who is our Frank Tulak? So I'm going to have to give a little introduction to myself. So I'm going to spend this first part explaining who I am, right? Because everybody has the question is, who are you, and why should I listen to you, right? That always becomes the standard, as if it was really, but nonetheless. First of all, I go by R. Frank Tulak, okay? Does everybody understand why I go by R. Frank Tulak? No, okay. Let me explain why, okay? My father had a brilliant idea to name his first son after himself. So he is called Richard Frank Tulak, okay? So I am called Richard Frank Tulak Jr., right? So that wasn't so bad until I got around 4 or 5. And people come over and they think, big dick, little dick, right? Big dick, little dick. So what happened is people think they were being so novel and so unique, they would come in and say, hey, how's big and little dick? And so my dad could only take that for so long. And I really didn't know any difference being so young. I just thought, well, it's no big deal. I didn't understand what it was all about anyway. If you're that small, you don't have too much of an understanding. But my dad was getting more and more upset about it. So he decided to say, that's it. From now on, he became R. Frank Tulak Sr., and I became R. Frank Tulak Jr. So now he became the big Frank, and I became the little Frank, which isn't as bad as big dick and little dick. So that's the story of why I go with, and the reason I have a little R in front of my name is not because I'm a science fiction fanatic. No, it's because Heinlein did that, people little R's. But it's because he's senior, big R, and I'm little R. That's why I have a little R usually. Sometimes you see it, but every time I put it somewhere, they always make it capitalized. So, and my dad passed away. So anyway, so that's why. And don't call me little dick, all right, please. That's I mean, you can if you want to, but I'm not going to respond to it. This explains who I am, right? What's my name? The second is, why should you listen to me, right? Why should you listen to me? And this is where the problem comes in. Because, well, how do you judge someone that you're learning from, right? Because if you're going to listen to someone, they should have what? Knowledge, they should have skill, and they should have what? Understanding. I have a lady here who had someone come in there and go to put solar cells on her house. The people definitely lacked skill and understanding and damaged her house. Then I had another lady here who had another job. She was having work over there, and they did not have the skill nor the understanding. They had knowledge, but no skill or what? Understanding. So having knowledge is good. And having skill is even what? Better. And having understanding makes you see problems before they even occur. Way ahead. So when you look at my life, do I have knowledge of life? Do I have that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding? Well, if you see me when I'm fully dressed up, with all my things, I have what's called the Cross of Gallantry. That is something of my 20 years of military service, and I did over 14 years overseas. So there, I have the experience. I received that for gallantry, for bravery, in the midst of combat. I have a lot of others, but that's the top one. It was during the Battle of Dong Hoi. So, Vietnam. Mm-hmm. So if you think, okay, well, how about skill? All right, skill comes from making mistakes. How many mistakes have you think I made in Asia for those over 14 years I was there? Using the left hand at the improper time, not bowing properly, doing all the things that you should not do, saying things that I didn't really mean, telling people I was going to be somewhere and wasn't there. All these stupid things that we do because we don't have integrity. I personally experienced the SALT covenant. I personally experienced the threshold or mantle covenant. I personally experienced the blood covenant. It's not just words. These are experiences I have. Does that qualify me? Do you think it's meaningless? Do you think it's unimportant? My doctor's degree, did I get it by memorizing questions so that I can answer them for the damn test? Is that how I got my doctor's degree? My doctor's degree is titled Dissertation et Iure Dignitatis. That's what that means. It's Latin. It means just and right. So when I got it, it's not because I passed tests. When you see that phrase, Iure Dignitatis, it just means you have the knowledge, you have the experience. But does that mean you have understanding? See, when you get that Iure Dignitatis, the actual dissertation, et means and, then you have that right and dignity. That comes from actually doing it. So how many times did I do that? I did 40 hours of dissertation. I had 20 years of experience and wasn't good enough. I have to stand before 5 other doctors to qualify. And they said, nope, they didn't give it to me. So I tried it again. I did another 40 hours. And they went, nope, not good enough. I have to match them or exceed them. That's the hardest title. It's how it was done originally back in the 16th century. And I wanted to do it right. If I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to do it the way it was designed. So what happens is when you start to do things the way it's the hardest way to do it, if you really want to do it the hardest way there is, then everything else becomes a piece of what? Piece of cake. So I am going to give you the choice, because when you sit back and you really put forth the maximum effort to learn it at the hardest way and gain it that way, then everything else is much easier. But we think in our mind something that's not true. It goes way, we conceive things that just don't match reality. And you see that where you think you understand reality, yet when you go to act on it, it doesn't work. And you go, why didn't it work? You see, wisdom is from making what? Mistakes, not once, not twice, but what? All the time. You looked at the account of Peter, and boy, Peter was like, I zeroed in on him. Jesus would teach, he would do it, and he would blow it. He would teach you what Jesus would teach, he would do it, and he would blow it. Every time, he was like, he wouldn't give up. Well, I've modeled my life after that. I'm going to do it the hardest way, I'm going to do it all the way, and I'm going to prove it one way or the other. You see, when people get something, they want to either get the knowledge as a pedestal, they can stand up and look down on people. Or they can be the one who gets that knowledge and learns how to get around the swamps, get around the damages, the hurtful, the pain. They get it. I've already been the route. I can show you how not to get hurt, how not to be deceived. People don't know the difference between a counterfeit and reality. And in this day and time, there's hardly any truth left. People don't even know when they read the Bible. They don't even know how to recognize the salt or the blood or the mantle covenant. They have no idea what's in there. It plainly states it. So what do we want to learn? If you want to learn the truth, you want to learn how to apply it and get the benefits. Well, but Frank, this is a world of, I've done business. I have corporations. I know what works and what doesn't, and when you apply the word, it works. And when you're trying to do it the way the world says it, you're going to ruin yourself. It's not made to do things right. People lead you the wrong way, and then they take everything you got. Don't go that way. How do I know this? Make the same mistakes. You see, a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. When you have a fool, never learns, making the same mistakes over and over and over again. Why not learn from my mistakes? Why not learn the path that I've already proven is real? And you'll know that God is. So do you find that all that I've done is of no value? You want the academic memorization to where someone else says, yes, you know what? I've been in there. When I apply, the first thing they do when you go to seminary school, might as well be cemetery. When you go to seminary school, what do they teach you? Number one, I don't care if you're going to a doctor's of theology or divinity, what do they have? You have to learn Greek mythology. First thing you have to learn. You have to learn all the Greek literature. Why? What does that got to do with the Word of God? Absolutely what? Nothing. And I mean nothing. So what do I have to do? Well, I was like, after the first year, I'd say, forget this. Where's the Bible? This is what they would tell you. This is obsolete. This is the primitive church. It only lasted one lifetime. Why would you want to pursue that? It died in the 2nd century. There is no more. Why are you going to handicap yourself staying in that? This is, from my point of view, this is it. There isn't, everything else is a counterfeit. But that's not what they're going to tell you. On the Council of Bishops, which I am more than qualified, how many people you know, when you talk about the Pope, whether it be the Pope of Rome or the Pope of the Orthodox Church, how many apostolic lineages do they have? One. Do you know what Ding Hua here did? He went after all 5. I did